Chereto, Tabechu Namada was saying, Jambe, Colon Jimana Levase, Done Sambora Shu.
So, first we have to set the motivation of bodhicitta and think that one is receiving these teachings as a means to attain a state of full enlightenment of Buddhahood in order to liberate all sentient beings.
Honda Sajaniba, Tunjungola Lobe Sudere, Tungajitum.
So, so now we have just come to the second point, which is the actual the practice, the meditation.
Toma Londia Samasho, Nivatella Chela Tunjungo, Tunsama Jivan, Tunjungola, Tunjun Goricita, Lama Lava Motiva, the Java, the Java Jandro, the Lama, when you're the Java Java, Chi the Java, the Java Java, Laman and you. Tambone Sole, Ranye, the Valane, Sole, Boraji, the Vigazin Chavarji on the Jersey, Semajikumo, to Tang Shi Sumbe. She Sumbe, Taya Babu, some days you tell another shooter for the net that there was then be a quality of Gumbe, Tomacolon Juvani, Gasho, and the Gazichi on the Shi Song. Tedara Javola was more Charlie, touches the one you couldn't eat in your Chevalier, Java and Levaju. Sondong in La Yongan, Yiji, Yonjin, Bichero, Tenato, Maragon, with our citizens from Mason, Masonwara, Chuba, Jivishindo Kichwala. Shendo Kichwala, she danto, Telelo San Shebe, Dayan, Le, Jantan, Somasomater, Loganado Cho, the Rangela Levadani, Nazo Semenu Moda, Sonedo Sonde, Megota, Loma de Shevandona, Navoni. Navoyene long baba the church, cherry song, whatever so long room, and Jamba Lamchele, John Daracha, Lomadis, Modu Jurnati, Gizzy Chabrajan, Boraja de Lanchele, John Darati, Siji Boraji, Dari, Jepe, Rebe, Jagon, Dandre, Chajoji Sim, Chajoji Sim, Tumu. Jason, we to do send the Borache, Tenijo send the Gube, Teni, Sunji water, Larry Jayu, Gendutarla, so Jism of Maju, said the Yana, Jayu Gondu, Nulu, said the Lamon, the Lame, the Alaman and Juragon, the shop, so David Jayu, Gomu, said Davaji, Rangi, Tagodamasi, and Yakoban, Muni, Tavachu, Tamu, maybe. Jandu just on this much the Datan Roshi. She saw Jonathan Pamasi, Tamaji, Domino, but Lago Rose, Tomajavanado, Yana, Zojanton, never seen Jiji, Minasha, Shuda Che, Dagi, Jesuji was the Dagi wishes, Sijita, Chavramasi, Yoyo, those Kohormasi, Tova Day, Zuma Pomadu, Loaji, Chavri, Sijana Cha, then Samashi, Jericho. Judan Jing is the Jayuna Udushan, Rala Timber, San Sajun to Missy and Zeli some dir, La Jesu, the Javara Sombe. They are Rangivu, La Juna, Tuzi, Yesu, Dosen, the Chijima, Yondango, Darlaga, or Bushi, Majil, La Ju Yonzo, Wood, Take number. La mene jo dara java son la jo na java so da rinje ko mo la teme tara za la ma ya ra la tembe la me to yi shi shu da rang se yeme de jur ba sama ta tu mo ji da tu jin ju tu sam se ne ta tu de de tu mo tu ge da de se yo in da tu ngo le ya ta de go ya de Salo Yahochi Ton and Gisin Chebrich on the Jonas Semejila so Cheguyore. They is the Gisin Chebrich and the Salo Gioyona Yahuyore Mana set up the Maton Yungomare.
So now the as regards this practice, there is the this actual practice, and then there is the between session, the post meditation period, and as well as the conclusion. So for the practice, that first one has to sit properly, and then try to generate the proper state of mind, and such as the meditation on the four immeasurable factors of the mind. And there's this need to to prepare oneself, generating the proper state of mind for this practice.
Radama Sishan Tamja Koya Dungi Narsunima, Salton, Ngejo Jansim, Chashi sing about the Salton, Chashi Sim Jona, any Sijataji to Sanja Togo is at 8 and Allah, and then Jizadrime, Najo Gun Sambe, Simjeki, Mina Hila Chen, then Jene, the 8 and Lamakujuson, Joson Rosamba Chanduche. And the Dana Jenge, Konutia, which Jogo.
So first, the way to generate this proper state of mind is first that one has to think of the sufferings of the sentient beings, and this should then induce the proper renunciation, the proper state of mind, and in this way that one should come up to the point of generating true the attitude of full enlightenment, of true proper mental attitude of full enlightenment. And then after that one should think that one is going to engage in this practice of the deity of Tara in order to attain a state of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So in such a way that you have to activate the proper motivation.
아니 고노야 주주로 전에 자주 생파게 고노 주고 대야 되는 고노야고 매바 뇌샤 시당도 전부 주요나 주가제네 용어말로 심이 공주용도 송요나 아니 왜研究 자시자 세도 두고요 말 고노야고 면도나 아니 우정화 전시에 지고래 우정야 돼 아니 대화와 대네 우저제다 수진 멤버바 대부 차선데 우정하게 너구나파 우파동 소공 고버직 니송 어디네 제메 팅아마동 와제 누구고 장가 마제와제 심게 장가 제네 만노르제 지니 둥고 받듯이 뇌네 주지 니시자지 가제 구구 받도 노르바죠 때네 데디 야고 있으나 다 코는 고 코데베 신라 공주는 공주지 뇌샤는 뇌샤지 simply Jenduguri. Or that in Jason Bekanzala, then a genic is simply said, and
So it's only said that if one already has the proper state of mind, then one can start the practice. And if it is not the case, and if one's mind is affected by certain afflictive emotions like a desire or a hatred or like anger, and then it will not be possible to generate renunciation in the bodhicitta for the practice for this particular practice. So then one has to apply certain methods to remove those negative states of mind through the exercise of the respiration, and this will be done without without noise or without special sort of exertion. In a very natural way, you should then do these exercises without counting through the rosary or through the finger, but through mentally sort of counting those exercises. One can concentrate only on the breathing, and if you do just 1 or 2 or 3 or 7 or 14 or 21 times if it is necessary, then through this process, then all this the negative states of mind will completely disappear. And then when it does, then you can start the practice of taking refuge.
주주께서 내정 원론도 해야 돼야고 만용을 무지 요리 다 주주들만 제가 마동상 러주지 말아 되네 아니 저유세다 그래 알리 권론이 하고 주주야다 강가시에 두고 말이 되세매 봐가지고
So it is like in the meditation of Lamrim, gradual path to enlightenment. You have to think of the certain fundamental points of Lamrim, such as to think about the the great values of this fully endowed human form that one is obtained, and also to think of the impermanence and the sufferings, particular and in general type of sufferings. So in this way that we have to think up to the values of the bodhicitta, this fully united state of mind, and then at that point that you have to do the practice of taking refuge. And if you could do it like as it is explained in the text of Jochu, special practice of Lamrim, then that is very suitable. If you could do it in that way, it is very precise and very suitable. And then for the taking of the refuge, you have to visualize the object of refuge first.
다 저기 세대 정도시라 제부시하고 말고 라링 쇼사래 강고 라링 쇼 라링 공체사래 이내 정도도 제도 니요인데 저도 저유 제부 지기는 라링이 정도 나시 라마치고 소신 나시 오고 오면자 수요 말 바산 신고 말이 때문에 라마치고 정도 나시 뭐 조 라마로선 통도 인창을 잡을라 아니 조도 봐 보고는자 조들라니 근데 지금 좀 하시고 그래
So it will not be very difficult to visualize the object of refuge, since that you have already received the teachings on the Lamrim, the graduate path to enlightenment. So it will be easy to visualize object of refuge, and this could be done in two different ways. One is a very elaborate way, and the other one is a very short way, very concise way. And if you do it in a very elaborate way, then you can do it like it's very much similar to the object of refuge which you visualize in the Lamrim or in the practice of Guru Puja, except that it doesn't have the milk lake and the wish fulfilling tree. This you can forget about it, and then instead of the central figure of Lama Tsongkhapa, you have to visualize in his place the Tara, which is inseparable from one's Guru, which will become the central figure of this object of refuge.
차예가 도시기도 추세 연배 지부가 냠자 차니자 로게 우발라이 요소네 요발라이와 녀게도 같이 되고 어다데 단데미 위샹라 라주게 라마 강가에 데레상동그래 단다데 군주 노루고 저유데 데레질 군주 노루잖아 데레세다.
And then if you would like to to do it in a very abbreviated or very concise way, then you can visualize only one single object of refuge, and which is the tradition of the wish-fulfilling jewel. And that is the way to do that is first you have to visualize in the space above yourself, in front of yourself, a throne which is supported by 8 lions, and above that is the triple seat of the variegated lotus, and then sun and moon disk. On top of that, one's guru, in the form of a bhikshu, with the wearing 3 different dharma robes, and then holding in the right the vajra, and with the gesture of teaching, and the left in the position of the meditational position, and then holding in both hands the lotuses, which are sort of open at the height of his ear. And then even after that, when you come to the point of visualizing the lineage gurus, and all those lineage gurus also have to be visualized in similar form like this one.
Lama chile se mada na tujuga lama ida sanje mambu kangalo su du chil du shaw kundu mato chayu ma samare lama chi yin chida lame ko de ginure sungu che ko jore tu de sanje ko jore.
So when you have one single object of refuge, that does include all the object of refuge. So it is the very embodiment of all the object of refuge, gathered or completely embodied in one single figure, in one single object. and the body of that, the external body of that stands for the Holy Sangha, and the speech stands for the true Dharma, and the mind, the consciousness of that stands for the Buddha. So thus it is embodiment of all the object of refuge. So after having visualized the object of refuge, you should think that you are surrounded by the sentient beings of the 6 realms of life. Even those beings from the hell and so forth are all in the form of human beings, so fully capable of understanding and so forth, so that you are being surrounded by those sentient beings. So if you would still like to be more precise in this visualization, you can visualize that your father to your right and your mother to the left, and then the friends and relatives in the front, and then the disciples and others on the back. So thus you are being surrounded by all the sentient beings of the 6 realms of life.
다른 데를 투어바데 심지어도 응이지 나와라 셰메즈베 니지제네 제와치다 송고래 지바데 코당에 송이 지발이 하지게 시진 지발이 쪼르고래 코당에 송래 주네 녀랑게 라좀바 토송 시다 송도래 대디기요 텔레 장지고래.
So here for taking the refuge, you have to have the causes for taking refuge, and normally that one needs to have at least 2 possible causes to take a refuge. First one is that one has to generate a certain amount of fear or fright from the existence and from the sufferings of the existence, and then secondly to have the firm sort of faith and confidence in the object of refuge to help one out of this situation of existence. And then in addition to that, one additional cause that one must have with respect to the practice of a great vehicle is that one should have very strong compassion towards sentient beings, with the motivation to liberate them from not only from their state of suffering, but also to liberate them from the 2 extremes of peace and nihilism. So one should have in such a way very strong compassion towards sentient beings.
아니 다당 로나 게타다냐 베스베 너바던 베고디 시제 탐지 우르데메 미바제 강가로 군조 자유레 소다 자유의 시제 탐지가 또 지와 침묘고듯이 디스코레 디지 주야보 정주 디지 매장도 수제 다 지당 지버리.
And then with these 3 possible causes being completely present within one's state of mind, then one should start with complete faith and confidence in the object of refuge. Then one should start reciting these lines of taking refuge, such as that I and all the sentient beings. Then from today on and so forth, then one should recite these, and thinking that all the sentient beings are around yourself, also simultaneously reciting these lines of taking refuge. And then as a result of that, then from the body of the object of refuge then start to flow the rays of light and nectar.
제위지고르마 드즈보 나란다 시제 탐지 용고르마 쇼니 디지 참마 하버드 군조 손럽에 템베 디지 강가 베 칠마던 마 정신다 디지 정미 미바체고리.
And then this flow of rays, light, and nectar from the body of the object of refuge then purifies completely all the negative imprints, and especially those accumulated with respect to the three jewels.
Lama goyo songe kosung tuji chelab raja sija taji jola shube mibache chelab jube mibache gore nije.
And at the same time that you should also concentrate that you receive the full blessings of the three jewels.
Jangru chede to dene zon de cheze chachu nibo la chiji badu samaje ge badu cherang shen jangru chebare. Cheba na yege sanje mato ge badu jawo le chu su sambade jawo do chu be me bachi sung che gore. Jang yu chu sung me ba ma jin jangru ma sangare.
So also that you should think that your motivation is so that you are taking refuge until that you completely attain the final aim of the enlightenment of Buddha, and at the same time that you should think that you from now on that you are being under the guidance of the three jewels. So this sort of state of mind should be generated.
Da dan ro na ga nya sin sia sin de je lo men do ha go re da di ba che. Da sanje chu no so chu no chen ba do da ni je su chen ba do chen ru re. Da ge je su ji ba da ro la phe je sanje ro bo sho su de sim je re.
And then after that there's again this four line, this one shloka, which is the first part contains taking refuge in the three jewels, and the second part contains the generation of bodhicitta.
Jinso jeba sokung na la dagi jimba li chung suna, surim li chung suna, gumba li chung suna che, suna jawe yi sung tiri. Wa rangi be gumba tang, jimba tang, surim li chung yi sung gu dube suna kacha yoba ti, ane tila teni sinja tam jiga tangdo, sanje yi gumu be, jobun ruba sho si che, monlong dan reyo gu ne, sim jeba re. Chitanga sinje re. Ta, chebar ma siya tanda nyo doba zon kuma toba te shir ju pamariwa nene janso langwa jewo siya de, chebar je sinje re. Jewo de jirga sinje, je chebar sinje. Chitang sinje ga dodo sanje toba chegu sinda jik che. Chebar do yabe, jobo, jiru gu chitang de rangla ga sanje ji kuma toba je sinje donga gu yorindo newa de nye, she mezubi niji chayne. Be, chidung nidu ki chidung nyowa si nyogo sigri nyowa tambu be nidu nir tsiji luji nyowa nyeba de nidu ki chidung chi li kukuri tere jila sanje kumu toba chegu te toya ki tanda ala jisima drume nanjo nyansu linga yin si chadu josim ri chochi ni josim chochi ni chebar jisi jes odi salutong.
So and then the second part of this verse contains the mentioning of the practice of generosity, practice of giving, and this also refers to the practice of the ethical discipline and as well as meditation. So these are the three bases of accumulating merit, and in such a way that all the accumulation of merit then will be dedicated for attaining the ultimate state of Buddha. And so one is dedicating these merits and virtues, accumulated virtues and merits, for attaining the state of enlightenment. So that is a sort of a special, or that is a general, that is very general motivation of bodhicitta for the benefit of sentient beings. And then this will be followed by a special generation of a will to attain the state of enlightenment through the practice of this deity, Tara, and in this very short span of life, with a very strong and very powerful compassion to attain that state in this very lifetime. So that is already the generation of the practical, altruistic mind of enlightenment.
Choga karit nana gola chandu sinche yore. Chandu te yaguja maje na, chiru mudi bada che yomare. Simche de yaguja maje na, tiba memba ta chigore, tichen le yan rugu yomare. Ode zaza chigore.
So So for every practice there is this part of taking refuge and the part in which that one goes to generate the bodhicitta. And if one doesn't take a refuge, then the practice is not so much different from those being done by the folders or the mudikpas or the folders. And if one doesn't come to generate the bodhicitta, then the practice is not so much different from those that belong to the lesser or the smaller vehicle.
That's Hemeshigum. Semeshigum Siatan, the other, the Judan Demajuice. Jamat Seme. Domenda Domeji Judan Troju, Niji Seme. Dome maybe the other Mendo Juices, God Seme. Nearly Chadan the Daniel never Daniel Seme, she would can the lover Tamaimba, sim that bear, can the lover sim the Koju of a chain, with Judan Ringiji Guadamato, the can the lover Sam, Yamatin Don de Giomare. The Makari channel, Lunga is Juvaji, Gioya, Yore, Temajan, and it does Sushita Yoma, Judan Ring Yawachi, Semeji Yabugungo in the churches, similar to Norton Yore, Semeji the churches sing a pondere.
So, after that, there's the meditation on the 4 immeasurable factors. First one is the immeasurable love, and then followed by immeasurable compassion, and immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity. So when you do that, this should not be left on just superficial or the verbal recitation, but something that is done from the depth of your mind, that your mind is sort of fully being integrated with the practice and with this meditation. And if you do that, then it leaves special imprint for bringing up the experience of bodhicitta.
Teparuta Laju Sunde, the Chokajidan Tambacheni, Nizengi Sungshe, Chetabu Dochangi Sungshe, Nizengi Cheni, Laju Chiori, Laju to Tongre. Ta Laju Tondre, Chow Chow the Ron Sodo, Laju Sabaseta.
So what happens is that so as a matter of fact, there's the need to also to give a formal the recitation, the reading of the text of sadhana of the deity, but then since there's not so much time, so it's difficult. And then in the main text, then it is not said that there's the practice of the prayer to the lineage gurus, but here you find in the sadhana there's a special prayer being included to the lineage gurus. And so for this, then first thing that you do is to absorb those objects of refuge, and then you have to visualize anew the whole assembly of the lineage gurus for reciting this prayer. You can check in the sadhana text if you have with you.
Doju and the Jir Kavade should do it, Salo Kore. Doju many Beja make each other in daily from Samba Majena, and kind Yoma, Pechatam, Pechato.
It will be very good if you can just check in the text and then just see that where the explanation is being given, of which part and so forth, will be very helpful.
Sure.
Yoren.
Kangal do it.
Mancha Yoren.
Mena, not Chujul, Danger can take Chesa to me, you get him with Chena, and the start of Zumba to Kay or Marity.
Without text, then he's on his face like him, like an article, and then you are taking notes down.
Tawana Laju de la Lama Jewicha Sandong, Lama Kangalo Laju Pichangoli Trisha Yori, Tindi, Chumtras and Kayoma, Laju Picha Parmakangoli Yori, Piggy Pamos.
You find
다기 저유기 되다 집어리.
So the when you just look in the text, you find that you have to visualize from 8 to 10 the gurus of the lineage, and all of this you have to visualize exactly in the same form like the one that His Holiness has just described.
제월에 생기치세 마다는 지기요. 배마탄 대회 진고지 등도.
So for the lineage gurus, even if you are not able to visualize the thrones with the lion and so forth, but you can visualize them just on the lotus and moon disk.
투식제니야 랑게세벨 라마 랑고제 디 라마 디여게지 디 라마 도시야 라마 주지쇼. 또 여기 지준 좀 말이 라마 지준 좀. 라마 지준 좀 데 나마 지준 좀 공도 장고 뒤전 다가리. 다들 정신도 신으로와 데레치시. 대모임베 라마 창물로베 라마 모드나 데 임발라 아니 되게 저유군도 노루고 나시 라마 공도 갈 라마면 당차고. 전노로 수주르려면 나서야지. 추구 송수데 추구 나자 아니 샨답 추구 송스티레.
So the whole lineage gurus will be visualized in just one single vertical line, and on the topmost is the deity Tara in his usual form, and all the lineage gurus then will be visualized in the form that is just described, with this white body with slight shade of red, and then with 16 years old, and then wearing these three dharma robes.
That is. Da ula penja seji doje. Penja tinsan Allama namazı penja çedi penja uşya. Şalan gel ben dusuyor baraba. Te guamare. Şala kujel pa yuya de tabdi uçeni. Nölma gadis. Şala kaluma acı germişe naji. Tenegi sandumur.
So the also wearing the heads of the panditas, and this is the long tails, not sort of being thrown on the back, but so slightly sort of hanging down.
Cha yega doji da jeti chusheje. Ubala ge yuanzi, ubala metodi niel tela kachi. Yugi tibuche nyavjaje. Yang metodi ubala nya yumbe tela kachi devache.
And the right hand holding the vajra and being in the gesture of teaching, and also holding an utpala flower, and the left holding a bell, being in the position of meditational position, also holding an utpala flower which opens at the height of his ear. And sitting in the vajra asana position.
Cittamani Nuga Lama Yang, Chow Kundu no Lucian, Lama Dagari. La Ju Juba Lama Kangaya Sutan Nidere. Tandu Lama Nenjo Chedu Yang, Simbasunzi Cheba Mado Tarange.
And so here the practice of this Tara Cittamani is very simple, because that you always then visualize the same forms like the one that you visualized before as object of refuge, also in this form. And also here, when you visualize the lineage gurus, also you visualize them exactly in the same form. Also later, when you recite the text of the Guru Yoga, also you visualize the similar form.
Tandu Mama Toyudu Jansi Chabinalasi Rajan Jagon Chile Gibuchi, Yeruju, Lamukodam, Sijinjok, Mundujis, Sonda Suchodam Muruzus, Sil, Siletium Goje, Ashramuri. Raja Jogo in Chile, Sanje Choju Shin, Rajan Ju, Sanje, someone of Chile to do the Chile, Chile Ginanga, Nibu Yodo, Medodavatri. All ten and General Shota.
So first the 4 lines, then is the one is doing prayers to Tara. The Tara is the embodiment of all the activities of the Buddhas of the 3 times.
Ta lama chi la so ta yang shama de lo san je sa je tam chi chi ngo zu yong de ye ge de ge ji se zhe ma de ma ta bo ka ma la ma tim lama re le so ta de te ma shama de ma ting ge che.
So when you come to the first guru, which sits just below the Tara, then when you recite the second line, you should think that the deity Tara above is absorbed into his body, that is the body of the first guru, that is Tahu Karwang. So in this way, that when you pass on from verse to verse, you should think that the gurus from above downward, sort of absorbing into one another.
Los Angeles subject chu tenzo on chu ji sarishiba pame ji ron gar ji omola so de chodung rutus chodung rutus de chogung ru de sanje ko hong re tomung ru chu shen je jerin tar chen de chu shen je da shi jiang da ge le ran ja da kar gu gu de na yo re hong ru de su na ro na shu gu yo re.
So each time that you find to give all the attainments, the supreme and all the rest of the attainments. The supreme attainment is the giving of enlightenment, full enlightenment of Buddha, and the rest of the attainments include the 8 types of attainments after having completed the generation practice, and also it includes all of the attainments which relate to the peaceful, increase, control, destructive activities of the Buddha.
Pameji ron karji ombu la so de so se karji ombu khona ge sen re.
And so in the second verse we find the name Karwang, that is the one that who had received this teaching directly from Tara.
Da lu ta den chen san ye de la sia ting gu zu yong de Karwang de yang ma ten ne rala ma ting go rala lama chi lama ang sum ba.
So when you come to the third verse, that the third verse includes the name of great master Rala. So when you recite that, you should think that the Karwang who sits above him will be absorbed into the body of this guru called Rala. And his full name is Rala Losan Tembe Ngadu, the second guru. And the same prayers.
Then she loved him, Madrid, long gone to just Chile, Niger, make each other, didn't you? Ombola so that children would do. Did it?
So the fourth one is one of the teachers of the great Tafu, and under the name Yeshijatso.
Lama Yichi.
So that was in the fourth in line. So then the fifth one is the great master Teacher Ngawan Sutim of Shatse College. And the sixth one is another master under the name Jedung Rinpoche. And the seventh in the line is the great master Jishu Shavdung.
Tal no losan jabe yang ni chi tembe nibu zebe su ta tabu kuchi niba dire. Ti shoma dire.
And the eighth master is the second incarnation of Taofu, the great master Taofu.
Yama nga chabu saba kudi pyo de pe, nge de chunde shunyu, ma kan pe du, gaden le pe su. Jizun ruma kadu yin de shezi yore kungi.
So this is the one that from whom the Judge Rinpoche, when he came for the first time to Lhasa, he had the opportunity to receive some teachings from this second incarnation of Taofu. And his full name is Ngawa Losan Tembe Ngudu, the second Taofu. And then the ninth in the line is the great master Jawji Pawungka. And his full name is Jamba Tenzi Chilenjatsu.
Jamzi Ndirawa Jamzi Chamba Lusan Jewayi Jamba Tin Jambache. Tembe Nibun Zembe Pejuchi Tenziche. Chile Jasur Chen Lama Sensan Wande, Lama Ganga Sen Yoride.
So you find actually in each of those verses you find the full names of those masters in the line. So you have now 9 masters. So even though the name of Judge Rinpoche is not here in the text, but you have to include it there as the 10th, the name of the great master Judge Rinpoche. So there's a special verse which contains his full name of Judge Rinpoche. So one can include that here.
Tomolanji Ranju Lejan Sudel Hata Lame Chenlab Nusula Dene, Namba Mushine Tensuni, Janju Sim Chobachilla Bargi, Lamring Toba Kangajula Jawachinaro Nas, Lamring Man, Meta Mekaniza, Janju Kabashu Tishu, Konjane, Lamring Gungo Yore, Larin Pati de Yu, Satumba Gun, any new Jumaledi.
So this is since there are very few masters here in the lineage of this practice. So because of that, it is very profound and very swift in obtaining the great attainments. So by doing that, you have to absorb from downward, from one master into the other. And then what you do is that when it absorbs into your guru, you should then make special prayers and saying that so by the receiving of their blessings, that one should be able to bring to generate special realizations from the start of the practice of a guru devotion up to the generation of actual bodhicitta, and you sort of making prayers to be successful in developing a special understanding of these, because that without realizations from the Lamrim, graduate path to enlightenment, then even if that one goes to meditate on emptiness or any great practice, it will not help. And besides, there's the danger of being sort of getting completely mentally crazy, because without having the proper foundation of the Lamrim.
Chewa medabani tejo donshine zomba chigibe jerin zorin sama jegaba ge lama yongzo cho chi le sha ge shinye de lu de shinye sanju ni ge de lu de cho chi le sha ne khoni jeyang zhang de.
So actually the practice of the meditation on the impermanence, and then the practice of a guru devotion, the practice of the generation and the completion stage on one hand, on the other hand the practice of a guru devotion in both thought and in actual practice. So these two are sort of have the same kind of weight with one another. There's no so much difference from the profundity. So if one has all these aspects completely present in one's the actual training, then there will be no one will not have any difficulties in getting to the ultimate goal of full enlightenment of Buddhahood.
Today my jevache tomu lavre de yusha doyaji mebache doyaji de becherin zorin tosachilanya die dongbache kemo chodire jingoliya doyaji dongbache geshan ku haza leche de baji ma yusho gore mado ga keben to ma.
So the thing is that if we without the proper training in the Lamrim and only to engage in the meditations of the generation and the completion stage, then that would seem like that one is trying to put one single load on an animal. That will not work unless that you have two loads on each side. Just putting on one load on an animal, then one will have great disaster. One will have great problems of being able to transport the thing. And especially the practice of Guru devotion is the very foundation for all of this spiritual progress. And if one has this foundation, this very root, then it's not difficult to have the branches and all the leaves and the fruit and so forth. And if there's no root, no foundation, then there's no way to get the branches and fruit and trees, the leaves and so forth. So that is why then it is always said to be of the practice of Guru devotion as the very foundation of everything. So even if that one is not able to gain so much realizations from other paths, as long as that one does it precisely of the practice of a Guru devotion, then that will make a big difference. That one can, on the basis of that, one will be able to continue the practice and then with great effect in the next lives.
Oh yeah. Lanchi zawa shinye ten sunde la pyoge chulu jine chibari jagage tu shen so de pente da kanga ne lavon chibari namasan jiwa yin chen che kanga londela mat mitamba yomari tuzu simleja nyanen gujo maloba chewuri kaga yema jewa je lagun do ma shen ba che la ji le mi da ordinary ji gun kai da ma shen ba ji je la le le yin ru ku tong le mi de zhe bu ji le le ji gun a zhe ba chi ani nyoyo nyuchi nyuni le ya men de se ba so da de go de ya bu ji ba nyo go de to gu yo ma re sim ma ji de san sing ji nyon de ji le u ne nyo ba ni le u ne nyo ba ji yo ne chen ye ma song ze ni yo ne sim ma de ze ani den de le yo de che bu du kai da dong me shen ge ge chu de che bu den de ma ji ru chi ya da
So the practice of Guru devotion one finds in all the four traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, and also among the great practice of the Pandits and Mahasiddhas, and also that in that practice the practice of Guru devotion is the very root of all the attainments. So there's no difference. So all these sort of agree to that, and the full agreement of considering the practice of Guru devotion is the very foundation of all the goodness. And instead then putting this aside, if one would engage in certain meditations like on a deity, then because of the absence of the foundation, if one goes to meditate, then it could become very strange. It could bring very strange effects like like visualizing oneself in a very flat sort of deity with very flat body or very multicolored, and then such meditations without a proper foundation then could lead a person to become completely sort of crazy. And this one says if one can really get violently crazy, then it's okay, but also not that. And then getting a lot of problems, depressions and all that, then that is, and such things sort of might happen if one doesn't have the proper foundations.
Tomo langi raji le jangni, savla rini toba ngoju des, ta tomo langi yawu chong chanji simba tu chong sona. And savla rini toba ngoju de, savla rimba ni jering da zoring re, jering da zoring ke toba ngoju chuni rangi jo le jewa chi naro nas chanju sho re. Te chong na ane sanje no re, songju pa me rangshe nyan tu sho, songju pa ma jizun me kupang to rugu yo re. Jizun me rangshe jes, rangsing jizun me ngori jewi yo re.
So then if one has the proper grounds, having trained precisely in the common ground of the path, then up to up to the point of generation of bodhicitta, then one can one can enter in the practice of the completion of the generation in the completion stages, and then through that one will be led into the state of the Yogananda of the deity Tara, and so that is the very final aim of the practice.
Ta demasya chewa mo chosis ta jizurime kuban to sanje kuban salya male na yan chewre ta teleju khaburwa male na yan shega lakhala ani to susu nyane che ya kibe jidu ge tomba jiche lamdu ge tomba jiche tetres jidu ge tomba je lamdu ge tomba je le besene tomba jisu de noche to sung ge kaw de shaya ge tomba chembu shendu tomba tamje tomba sire taje tomba tedan gawa jige nan leji gawa gongosa tere chena tomba jite tere te du jonga so chewa chugo lan cheda gong sheya de nire tomji gongoyo tomji de shiru de tomba shayongure te shiru ge tomba re kadu shishi de shagure jidu gu tomba jiti ngo ma chö tomba ngo ma chö ba yinza ta te shidu ngo chö ne wese tomba de ngo to chö to na jidu gu tomba leong gi shara ngo ya de lamdu gu tomba jida ti tong to bare.
So even if that one is not able to attain such great attainment in this life through the practice, then at the time of one's death, then due to the force of the practice in one's lifetime, then one will be able to understand, to recognize the four aspects of the emptiness, and being able to mix that, being able to integrate that with the four empties of the part, and then that will be a very great possibility, because that was the time that when one passes through the three different stages of white appearance, the red appearance and the black appearance. In those stages, then that is the place where one comes to meditate on emptiness mixed with the great bliss.
아니 동시 시토가 이나 시류고 동시 대가 랑두고 동시선 생에 타도고 산다래 용거리 대에네 대에만에 봐도요 말이 주메고르당 주메고데 의세 손주 한 상제 스지르지르상 저치마 더라라 저치마 코나로 요야요 말이 봐도요 말이 봐도 매바 상제 같아요 대에자 제나 동시 시베 람제터 녀랑 주 송그 송그르치스 녀람데 주메 ko wese sonju ju nyonan ju songu chuguchi julu wese sonju chuguchi songi deji tazo to ne jabusho deji chama pang ne sanje no yori atene yonshos tatiye komure mazo.
So at the time of death, it's natural that all the winds are completely sort of gathered into the central channel. And so at that point, if one is able to to mix the four empties of the death state into that of the state with the part, then one can, on the basis of that, one can arise in the illusory body of a Buddha, and through that one can generate a true clear light, and on the basis of that one can attain full enlightenment of the state of Buddhahood without having to go through the state of the Pardo, or having to go through the intermediate state of a Pardo, and in such a way that all the subtle aspects of the four matters are completely destroyed to attain the ultimate state of Buddha.
Tati kabo yinza chi she nyane chi ju ma ju che tumba chi gong ju ma ju che cho chu ba do long gu se ro zo chi rin gong ju ma ju de che de ma de ju ma ju che da je je ba de ju ma ju che pe le ka dong gu ko la sa ja ba te beng le lu ni shi so na pe sha ko ye ke ju ma ju che nyane ke ju me ba che.
And so if one is not able to do that, being unable to meditate on the four empties, and being unable to bring the three transformations, and being unable to recite the prayers, the long sadhanas, and then also being unable to take all the money that one has accumulated and having deposited in the bank, in such a way, if one had to depart from this life,
Tama Juni Yawad Machungi Siji Homari. Chewa Kundu Yada Lama Tandreme, Chuji Bella Long Jujins. Tatindeke Majua Tunji Sumatone, Tatandami, Ponshu, Longshu, Dova Chalachimu Dun, Tindeki Bachaja, Lama Teba Madovache, Tansi Manyambache, Yo Inza, Chewa Chimale, Yantabe Lama, Senior Deva Lama Sobon Goguchi came member, Lama Yaguchi, Deva Meba, Jesus and Medeo shows. Lama da mendewa le la zige chu ji be la long ju jin la me chu so rang ge chu ji ji yong chu be chu ya ga ji be long jie ji yong sho de jia ba le den sa da lang gu yuan den zu bang din lu de yuan den zo ne san je do ji chang gu to to sho ta no no ta ma ro de je la me yong zo gu ma yo oh yeah
so then
no je yo ma re.
So then so even if that one is not able to do that, but through receiving empowerments, and also through receiving the reading and the recitation of the text, and through having generated the proper faith and confidence, and not having committed any of those downfalls, and having kept all the samas precisely, then that should help to be with fully qualified teachers in the past, in the next lives, and that one can continue to enjoy the good teachings, and so in such a way that one can proceed smoothly on the path to finally to attain the state of Buddha Vajradhara. So that is the prayer that one is making, one is doing, directing one's mind to the Guru. And then after that, so one can, when you come to the end of this prayer to the lineage Guru, one can either absorb the root Guru into one's body, or one can leave it there. So whatever one wishes to do. Then after that, then there's the prayer or the text of Guru Yoga, and this is called the stairs leading to the liberation.
Yeah. Dande lama matim shagine taratsaga lama ya rala timbe lama to ishi chuju ko da rasim yime de churba samne lama rala tim lama de ödu shune majune kan chene öju cheshor lama hal cheva inza rala tim de rasim da mo yime de churne o deni melam jumat da bu nala rajim meva to da be lama ne ju sal don to ni ya taşı tadi de la jetin dibaç.
So one can do either way, that either that melting the body one's guru into light, and then light will be absorbed into one's body, or that the guru in its complete form will be absorbed into one's body. There's no difference whatever one does. But anyway, that through the absorption, that once the mind of one's guru is completely united with that of yours. So that is the integration of the guru into one's mind.
당연히 결시 마중에 냐체 진이 성화지 조로 전선 셰바 나시 준수의 냐내체 상로동 냐내 토바 상산으로 주소로 지금 있는 냠치지.
So even if that His Holiness will not be able to give the repetitions of explanations, but if he would give it in such a way that one can give in such a way, like based on his own experience, then that will be a special type of commentary that we are receiving based on experience. And so just by one explanation, and then being unable to practice precisely, so through that one can only accumulate merit, and that explanation then remains as explanatory commentary or explanation that cannot become an explanation or commentary based on experience.
Lama Trobe on Chimbo some Jimmy Cheba, Juba Mangu Machinke, Chenlagbe, treated with the Mayakinji in Zan, Chojiti. Niso Maratula in a Lama Mushigbe, Zozo Zero Chene, on Shonet, Chile, not to do lesser day or Tishu said no willing. Nima Mamungoso, Nima Tavarishima, Kandon Rugure, Tessalando. So this is very something very profound and very profound practice, and transmitted through those very great masters, and so there are very few. There are very few in the line of this transmission. So therefore, it's a very profound practice, and. So when His Holiness received the commentary on this practice, he did it at Nobulinka, the summer palace of His Holiness, and every day that he went on foot just to receive one session of teaching on this, then he had to return in the evening. So in those days there were no cars and there were no horses, so he had always to go on foot for a long distance. So
His Holiness says that he will try to explain it as much as possible, and if he will not be able to complete it, then he will just leave it wherever it goes. So
never Tarachamba so no children to Mugi, Moduchi, Jijon, Zavani, Shin, Tenso Conala, Alution, Labra, Larry, Nyato, Samujula, Java, Lamechan, Juba, Conala, Gube, Lamen, Jora, Langiso, Nieto, Chagubara, Son, teacher, there is soon Lee, Chedanjo, Taralam, Nalamena, Junior Solemn, Della Son. Kulwagon, some Java, Lamen, Junior, Nansol, and Supajugon, and the Damo, Tamone Sunle. Tomo Maimena, Lamen, the Taranya so long, Chao, Shinju, teaches the Dreamesonre. The Danya so long show, Soyo, Chela Kulore. Then that Chimbo is a Yaso long show, Dreamesonre. Tanga, the English Yaso, Nivana Lama said, about the Yala, the Mamba, Shushin, Chao, Tambo ne son le lam dalu tame shi so shibani kondu dani juru jibe bare yiji de ya dalu tame juru shi so seri dara jibe rang yue je wo bende denji de dara da kato ju tame bara ngo jin sa lam na aje la zawe lam je yong phama duma so sanje tamje ji dun de ran so yimba la na ma gelo do jin ze mo ko do ka la ma we da an cha ba sembe lang su dan de ma cha ye chi ji chi cha je ba do ji da je be be mo ka bu da yen be nyam ja gi yen nya ja gi be tu da ji be be ka ran ze na ba ni ji de ka che wo ko la chu gu na so da u la sen do sa u la sen do ben ja so wo sha ni de ji ji rong ju be ja yu 자유 나게 고신 주요는 주바 대답이 라마다 세 심바 토가라 이시 심바 파마 주메 라소 용라 따르다 데 토가 땡겐지 담이 자고 그세 바로데 라마 심바 송지 도 섬데 저 온가 원도 아무 토가 홍보 되와 소세고 상와라 하장고 심바 대답이 토게 당이다 후이니 담아 고만 가시게 담아 홍게 심바라 송자 니제랑기 공바 홍 담게 심바 임바 송 대다 나 토가라 홍고 레고르제 나도 띵게 셈바 담이 장고 세도 대다비 토게 사변리 오제츠 최대 초주사 초주 라마이다 사지제 보고는 주소소 전에 말류바 제 전대 팀베 전에 군도제 다니도 줘봐 삼라 대다니 대다기 순준 시도 삼나 삼바르 주나 기회신에 도요도지 제베치리 추지디면서 시버 자오 니바야라도만 보아니 제조 노보 시바니 자주시모 시버 버르주다 라 손바젤로 젤로 니 쉬시면 니 자원에 손리 도가든지 심에 시바니 니조제 메가나 자시베 버르지 시베 버르지 데데데라메 도가랑 같이면서 또 데비 이게 집어 자서 찍당 라메 생아 니지 다신 동쇼 잡에서 다발라메 지원해야 되죠. 가보 당대만 되죠. 뭐뭐 도관데 되죠. 뭐 대와 대와 소다 산에지 할려도 되고 제 가도 나서봐 나마리 마신 주대 용다라네 소소를 팀에 원시 토신 고신 로베네 가자바서 원시 전도 재미바 용다라 자 되제 줄로 자라마 란다 가다 저 텀바르 쇼베 고이네 수수네 데도 파르주네 수고데 랑게네 수수네 되제 팀에 뭐 자고 벌송 되는 반은 자발라마를 뭐지 지수와 자도 더베 지발라마 토신도 제베 지총도 태소르도 저 지도는 쇼데 니가 배만도 지지딩도 랑교신도 잡에서 농세 당고 이메지수도 야조마 토지바도 대마 주바 산는데 라마 지슈 제당 샤바르니 도모 마이베 니조제메가 당야 드릴로 수마 페이지고네 네데다마데 송레 라메네 주네 라미지 소신 남 토베 팅게다 보메도 메롱와 인시 젤럽다 고르 탐제 라마라 데니 조웨 니버냐 솔라머 자오 시 소마다르 게치스 고도 제버르 베바다라 인라 라메네 주르 시바야 장쇼 람지 림베 자와 데바 정와리 제다라 정와다르 레바야다 기벨라네 점베 제공지 라켈라마디야 사제고도 지금 뭐 소통에 미시 슈라기베 되는 되지 나가 거기 나봐 랑 거미지 하다 예르메 또 제지메 되라 초도 소와도 버실라 자구지 대답은 이시 메버 라메나바 타발라 나 라마 타메버 로솔류니 되지 나가 라메 고 라메 고다 사이 나바 소세다 되라 추수지 보 라메네 주 롱장 소년 잡도 샤버 가고 대다야 라브레리베 대달라메네 시요스라베 담아요 가르샤바다 고고지 메바트 zaman jamvalani 가야메 신라 셰소마다르로 니보고실라 달라메네조 라메네조라 타기 라주게 라마데 마마딘 자유네 대가란 라메네주체 티 토갈 이시스마 세다 주레 드라마 춘주치 세다 티 토가 담이 이시체 심바 송지치 주레
So, in case that one has not absorbed the guru into one's body, then right at this moment you can visualize in his heart center the wisdom being, which is the little image of the deity Tara, and then at her heart, then you should visualize the Dhyana Sattva, that is the little green syllable thumb.
Talame nejo tela saje jaji inen de songdowa o kuyo ko de samjerwa 라메네주 니 야솔레스 페이지고네 네데도 담바스 그 요리 제자와디 야솔랑 수송거리 다 나라스 야솔랑 거 라야데 고지들이 텔라야데 라마 세데바 야라 듬바 표바 제가 쉬시 니주죠 송 니주 송요 말이 더모가 이보다 다 니차부리 더나로.
So it was told to get the tahu that by Tara herself that one should practice this particular guru yoga of Tara, and so this could be done divided into several parts. The first one is the generation of the guru, and then after that the practice of seven limb, and after that the recitation of the mantra, and then the absorption of one's guru into the heart. So that could be done in two different ways. One is the common one, and the other one is a very special absorption of the guru into one's heart. The one you find here is the common sort of more general type of absorption of the guru into one's heart.
다다게 라마 마팅 사유는 sarbache 다류 타메 지우 베데 딩서 랑 타메 별류 다같이 샤라디제 두종게 룬 다같이 대지우리야 마두지실이 베마탄 다웨 딩도.
So if you have already absorbed the root guru into your body, then you have to visualize a fresh. You have to visualize again here the beginning of the text of Guru Yoga. You have to visualize again the complete form of the Guru, who is above your own head, yourself being in the ordinary form of a being. Then right above your head, you have to visualize first the seed, the lotus, and then moon disk.
투지대 체제용 주모다 이메트신사가 라마니스 다 라마치 요다 치리 제고 마르와티 투지대 체제용 주모다 투지들 투지바 제외 용쇼 지수 주마스 주마다 랑가자베 라마니 모이르메체 코니 지와체 모이르메베 수지데네 라마타기 셰바나지 고도가라 마나 차 로주루르메 나서체 추가 남바 송수와 러종고 샤제 샤비도지 지롱고 주바 차에 도지단 제베 아니 배마가베 요 이제 뭐 추셰 차자因为 냥자 추셰 냥자 제야데 라메 제조 종송고의 산지 때마다 선벌이 추셰 추이도잘 셰 냥자게 베 조베 때마다 좀 셰루 니기고니 때마다 좀 선벌 이게 지보다 제베 냥자 텐지 냥자 차자게 지본지 되는 추고 차 니자로고 메도 베마레르 제누스 같이네 얘기 되자 같이 되고 들어 있어야 되고.
So then above that seat of the lotus and moon disk, then you have to visualize your guru, and which is inseparable from that of the deity. Tara, Tara is the source of the great compassion of all the Buddhas, in the form of that of a bhikshu, and with white body, with slight shade of redness, and holding in the right hand the vajra and the white lotus, and the left bell, and then in the gesture of the meditation, the right in the gesture of teaching, and so this symbolizing the complete sort of the great ability of being engaged in the teaching and in the debate and in the composition, and then each of the hand holding the white lotuses and which open at the height of his ear.
메도 배만 나와야지. 네시. 두자리제 송가 청구요. 장주 sem바다. 니에트다 란산제제 청구요. 배만디 니마샤운도 같이 그요. 산제지된도 총소나 아니 두자리제 송자베 용구요. 대성거리. 메도 어바다 지바이무다. 고문다 생엔데 란산제 청거리. 란제게 난자스르다고 청거리. 스르다고 란제 산제지된도 저도 용구마리. 산제 매비신가 동반달이 용거리. 세놓고 님의 가마치 나와게 같이 세나고 샤고래 다들 선대시에 보면도 유슈 다 라마 고도 까르 라마면 당차셔야돼 고도 까르보다 고도 만당 요바 니게 줄루다 외세니 선바래 라마 줄루 손주 외세 손주 주 손주 도지 창게 고보니 선바데 선바래
And the lotus symbolizes the three types of followers of the Buddha's teaching, namely that of the Bodhisattvas and the Sarvaga, the hearers and the solitary realizers, symbolized by this lotus. And then the lotus opens up through the light of the sun. The same thing applies to the flower Utpala, and the color, the white color with slight shade of red, symbolizing the Guru having completely attained the illusory body and the clear light of the Buddha.
Lama Shejik Javati Chutanja Tijanya to Rujivati Sumari.
And with one face symbolizing that all the dharmas are just of one taste for the mind, for the consciousness of the Buddha.
Cha ni ge chu te la demba ni yo bat somari.
And the two arms then symbolizing the levels of truth.
Ada chunde ma bu shugu men ya ma zong go ro re oda ha ma go ya me do te ne ge la ma je rang ge wo le se ta ta simbo sum zi che wa yin za cha yi shi de ji pe ga yin bu zhu dan ji pe ma ka ren zen be chu ji nie te da ma ji chu ji shi de me do che nie ge te da ma ka chi nie te da ma je chu ji nie te da ma je.
So in such a way that we visualize the triple body of one's Guru, and in the way that the lotus flowers then open up at the height of his ear.
Chugu sonsu sendo penjen zis. Chugu sonsa da ngara zemi da ne shanda. Chugu lagu sigri. Na jari te gon ka te sombu dire. Chugu sonsu.
And then wearing the three Dharma robes.
Sendo penjen zis. Ola penjen zozo de yaru chi chugu do ma te yuzuro de. Sebo second do jenge penja ken sebo.
And then also wearing the Pandit's hat in golden color, like the ones sometimes His Holiness the Dalai Lama also wears.
Tensan penja de tongru chene, simbo suge, man dere bichu sujare, kema penja rimbu yore, penja lusan chuje ke penja chingale yu, guba chige no tenre, techida rin thon daga zindu, besozo shuji yore, yoya de la penja be rimbu ya zozo yoya de. So the type of the Pandit's hat which are being made these days by the tailors have become much shorter than it used to be, and His Holiness used to have one Pandit's hat of that of the great pension, which is very very long, like he showed at you, about this high. And the reason is that it symbolizes the perfect view of the prasangikas with respect to the understanding of the emptiness. Chugu sunsu sendo penje zi doji jirum ugu una jo shao doji jirum je de jo de ke ho ku ko khang na lo jo de ba.
And then sitting in the posture of Vajrasana, and in the amidst of an aura of light.
Gurte be remut de ogin sakangala kuja de ho go go chu do wa salo ton de no su grupi ba no. Gurte no lo de ka bo de ne se bo de ne ma bo de ne hom bo de ne jang bo o de res jene chananga sangore.
So in the paintings that you see, the light is the light behind is quite a circle, But in the visualization, it should be not exactly circle, but slightly having the shape of a tent of five different colors.
Okay, Kampo in a shadow Jichin Gushu. That's simple song Jedu, Toga Label Hamu Magi and those. Ta Je Lamado Lamazawa Lama Toga La, Lama Namaching Toga La, Lama Jizundruma. Ya Isimba. Jizundruma Chuyu, Kundo Magi Kando Jacondo Jango. Shasha Yonsuzu, to Jongi Jizundruma Nanshichi, Chunjuchi, Isimba, they said.
And then since you have to have the triple body of the Guru, so you have to visualize inside his heart the wisdom being, which is the little green Tara in complete form. And this image has the color of a jewel called market.
Chai Chojin Umbe Ubala Kunju Sunzen Chaja Toganzis, Chai Chojin Umbe Kunju Sunzen Chajak, Chai Nika Ubalanzi, Ubala Medo Humure, Cha Nyayungi to the Kachide.
And she's also holding in the right hand, being in the gesture of the giving of the highest attainment, and holding the Utpala. In the left, then with the gesture of symbolizing three jewels, also holding the Utpala flowers. And she's wearing the silk garments and adorned with 8 types of jewel ornaments.
Ponje da chado shaudu kanga dobus chi tse chore oba chane be gara ge setiche dünre ta dünre so jere so some so masoyin oda da derjen hasu je che ne gong ye jang yong gong gu ya xiaoye zhouze zhong yong gong ne jizi zhe be zhou dang zhe ne la me toga na de zhou de yore yi xi sim ba chi ya.
So she's holding she's wearing the 8 types of the jewel ornaments, such like the ornament for the head, and then earrings, and then the necklace, and then the long necklace, and then the bracelet and anklet, and so forth. So she is wearing 8 types of the different jewel ornaments, and then with the right leg extended and the left hand drawn in. Also then sitting in the midst of this out of light.
Togalata tingezisiba yigetami dave jingo karchilewa chigitin jizidreme yigetam jangu chichene. Oh yeah.
And then at her heart you should visualize on a little moon disk then a green syllable tongue, which sort of then sends out 5 colored rays of light.
Tami tenganzu peshe nale trishaba naje tele kurumare tele wol da seyore tele gonle nanda yore all the rincha ajundi yore.
And it is not the type of syllable tongue that we often see in the text. It is sort of a more in its a more complete form with the crescent moon and as well as the nun on top, and a sort of very complete form of the syllable tongue.
Tangi te uze mbar sonja uze shendo mbar son rete uze chulu ke son medugo ta tami te cheo remba a toga hu tewa so lani lai zawar hasya uma so yiginga yoyza toge hu yige telena legurna la tangi ti chugure hu yige legurde tele ri tena lo tangi jongoti te nyezen ge sungshere ya sungshe chi la hu tami ge telena la hu yi jo hu dam ge chamba che lo su chi dam hu ge chamba che nyezen de zo che go nyezen de ne la ma do chang go ne la cha ne chung go la sungshe shube go du ge be sungshe rang re.
So So anyway, that this syllable is sort of a very blazing and very radiant, luminous syllable tam. And so now there are two, you have to place the 5 syllables in the crown, the white syllable om, in the throat, the red syllable a, and in the heart, the blue syllable hum, and in the in the navel, then a yellow syllable so, and then in the second place the green syllable ha. So then the syllable tam has to be visualized in the circle of the syllable home, or another possibility is you should visualize the syllable home in the circle of the syllable tam. So there are two possible ways, but the more precise way is to, according to Judge Pamukkha, the time that when he received the teaching from Great Master Tafu, is to visualize the syllable tam in the circle of syllable home.
Tugatai Janku Zimbar. Oh, yeah.
Simba Sunji.
Oh, that's Simba Sunji, Dani, Chen Churubes, Lama Tatsi Simba. Toga Jizuduma Yishi Simba. Tangi Tingin the Simba, Simba Sunji. Simba Sunji, Dani, Chen Churube. Nema Uma Ahmada Soya Cens, Joe Drema A, Toga Hum, Joe Carbo, Drema A Mabo, Toga Hum Humbo, Dewa So Sebo, Saneso, Hajangushi, Oda Ringesabe.
So thus we have the complete the triple body of the deity of the guru. The first is we have this outer body, which is the body of the guru, and that is the body commitment body, and on the inside that we have the wisdom body, the wisdom being, which is the little image of Tara, and then at her heart is the green syllable tam. So we have this complete, and then with the 5 syllables, the om at the crown, and then a and the heart, the throat, and then the home at the heart, and then the so and the navel, and the ha at the secret place.
Then Yiginga go goya de Lama de Sanje Tamje Nube Mo Yimba de Tsunguyore. Sanje Tanje Su Dun Rija Ringa Rison Riji, Ya Ringa Nam de Ore. Ringa de la Uma Ahon Swasha, Nabu de Ringa Sabere. Chochi ni Ringa More. Chochi ni Ishinga Yeranjere. Chochi no Go Song To Yunde Chile Mari.
So the reason that why we have to visualize these 5 different syllables is to show that all the great qualities of the Buddhas of the 3 times 10 directions are completely embodied in the object that we have just visualized, and also it is to show that all the different Buddha families, such like the 100 Buddha families and 5 Buddha families and 3 Buddha families, are completely embodied in this object that we have just visualized. And also it is the 5 syllables are the syllables which symbolize the 5 wisdoms of the Buddha.
Ngaransu Sanje ne Jawaringa Kumontore, Chibari. Tire Inzan, the Yuan Tuju. O Lamentenshu Nale Yore, Mende Nale Toyua, Melon Ishichimu Rubale, Concha Bede Rijuko Temba. Nagachi Ratu, Chinasan Chunkotus. Yam Nanya Ishichimu Rubale, Concha Rishan Rijuko Tembas, Ishinga Ranjing Jawaringa, Chidon de la Ore tenese shulga chuyo dan kachu yorin ko du shulga re mendetal jayon kesinga suzu shoyimba dan choran su dan dan chigmindo yama sundengu du kesin yabaye de rime chindo korin chu di manani.
So here the Buddha Varachana actually stands for the perfection of the body, and the Bodhakshaya stands for the perfection of mind, and the Bodhamitava stands for the perfection of speech, and Buddha Ranasambhava stands for the perfection of the qualities, and Amugasari stands for the perfection of the activities. So these are actually included in 6 verses, which are sometimes recited separately at the time of the offering of the mandala, and it has been done in recent times at the time of the teaching. So those lines of the 5 wisdoms are being recited.
Rangin tomba seade, tomba nyege rangin ala la de shari duje rubu memba. Kotong nanjing lele memba, sadu nanjing duje memba, shara ruba memba, gombu kodong memba, kodong choji kola mesim, julugu toba nali yore. Nake jasun tabo, chuyu nangan dawa tabo, meju tabo, melamgu liu tabo, jume chibu tabo, pe chuni yore. So then
the same time the kind of the nature of this what you visualize is something that it's complete in its form, and also that the nature of being is empty. It is not something which is being built by the ordinary substances like in one's body, like that of flesh and bone and skin and so forth. And then also it's not like the flat image, the ones that you find in the tangas. Also it's not the type that is being built by using the ordinary substances like earth and stone and so forth. It is something very radiant and like the rainbow, like the dreams, like the illusory, like the illusions. And so there are many different examples being given to describe the body of an illusory body of a Buddha. So in such a way that you have to visualize the body of the triple form.
Chitang lamen nenju gu lu su re. Shikan tanji ku lo zoba siyade san lu ko kabu re. Lo le chara kabu re. Kui shikan tanji le cheba siyade. Kui shikan tanji, kui jigi shikan tanji cheba be sanji sama sanji mi cheba yo re de nga zo lo le chaga ma re. Te za lamen babi puga sama ne. Uze pa do me wa chu ne. Uze re re ki zela sanje pa do me wa, jansin pa do me wa, shingan pa do me wa. Sije ga chanta nyamba chu ne sije ga tena tanda zega yo shenpa ro chi sal tong gu yo re. Sanje kari sal tong ne sije ga tena maze kengi sanje chi sal tong ju yo ma re.
So since that we visualize this object in the form of a Buddha, and so therefore it is very good, and since that we understand it is the nature of one's own guru, and so therefore it is a very powerful means to receive blessings. And then the another thing is that we should consider that the body of one's guru then completely covers all the realms and environment, the universe and so forth. At the same time that all the environment are completely being present in the body of one's guru. But this is something very difficult to understand. But what you can do is you can visualize that a lot of rays of light coming from the body of your guru through all the pores of his body, then going out a lot of rays of light, and which then fulfills all the desires and the wishes of the sentient beings. Because for the Buddhas there's no interruption. The Buddhas are always engaged in very many different activities to help to benefit sentient beings.
Lama sanje su tuwe teba yu na jenre ma tong ne ligu re. Sanje ji yin na sanje tamje yin gu re. Sanje tamje lo mi ji no re. Nga rang su kaka re. Rang rang su sang lo kaka re. Sanje ru sanje tamje to sin jiba re. Ku jiba re, sung jiba, to jiba, yu ne jiba, chile jiba. Kanga lo be ro jig re sung re. 대면은 산제 소리 연내 지중도 지나 자국도 틀레자 지중 요구 그래. 대인은 먼저 교대 녀도다 아니 그래서 그래 도시모 루주시아로부터 제가 강가를 진루주시아 누야 매로 누야 연디 고만 토고 대인서 산제 산제 주지바 임바디 뭐베 내루래 상하게 로에 따라래 바진 TV 로레 산제 산제 주지바 임바스 셰도 주라만의 송요래.
So when we have a sort of very firm, stable faith, then there's no need to have doubts whether they actually would come if they are invited. And so when one Buddha is invited, then it means that all the Buddhas are invited, because Buddhas are all of just one nature, one taste, and not like the ordinary beings. The ordinary beings are different from one another, being separate. But Buddhas are not like that. That all the Buddhas are just because for them there's no difference from each one, and all having attained a similar state. So they have sort of become fully integrated with one another and have become just of one taste.
이내 전에 마동은 리야 되는지 전에 도야 될래 수수 대버지야 타버리 마도 산제 승연데 루마진 수치를 폐용 루마진 알바 배신주 도바자야 되네 요마리.
So the reason that why one recites the text or the verses of invitation is a means to generate even stronger sort of faith and confidence in the three jewels, and for that there is the invitation, the text of invitation. It doesn't mean that Buddhas are invited from one place to another, and that means that the other place becomes empty of being absent. It doesn't mean that Buddhas are everywhere.
Sanje ke ko ngo nye ji ko de la raje na da ke ngo nye ko de na dong ba chu tam je da ngo ji be chu ji yo re ma do ji ne ba ji de ya yo ma re chu tam je do ko ngo ji ba je yo re yi shi chu ji ko de na sanje ke tu ji tu zhe wa de qian ba de re tu zi dang tu qian tu ji de ne ji ni ji de ru sa yo ma re o ya ka sa chūna rāshīn rōng kōng dē yāng siyā dē ngō nye gō lī xie gō rī. Jīyāng chāwē chīnzī chīlē jīyāng siyā sāngjī gā chīlē dē kōrāng rūyā mē nē jū dā bā lī jū, dū jē jū mā dā bā lī mī jū yā dē dē bē ngō gā rī. Chā bā tōng dī, chā bā nyāng dī tōng gō yō rī, sā bēn lō wā dī chōng yō gō rī, sā bēn mī lō wā dī chōng gō mā rī. Dā nā jī, lā yī jē bī chā bō jāng sā bēn mī rō mī chōng dā rī sī. Tuji kamsha tuji rong zhes sanje ge tuji de loba jin ji lan ruya mes tuji kam na je yin je.
So when we speak of Buddha, then we speak of the natural body of a Buddha, and the natural body of Buddha is the emptiness. So that covers all the dharmas, all the things, all the phenomena alike. And a similar way that the wisdom body of a Buddha also cannot be invited from one place to another, because wisdom body is everywhere, and also the activities of Buddha then can sort of then come to a person that whose mental imprints are ripened, but not to those who are not ripened. Then Buddha's activities cannot have any effect on those. It is like the falling of the rain, and when the rain falls, then the seeds which are ready to be ripened, then can this rain have effect on them, but not the ones which are completely sort of rotten or which are not proper. Then this rain cannot make them ripen.
Lawan Luigi Zuni Charwashi, Tijan Rusin Saji Zamala, Tobe Umbuku Zuni Charis. Sane Soju Zasonge, Jaja number J Foran Juyore, number J Foran Jaja Pandu Chidu, Mega Sacha Koran, Soju Saji Miruyer, Tevala Eva Jajin Zuni the Shadi Yore. There are Najan Arazu Simla Tevada, Jiba Sabri Chinson, Sanjan Jayung Yore, Sanjata Choju Sanji Zuni Surface. angema sona yudu sanje shaja to jidene chane jerwa tango sunje duja zo sunde goma zo su na ja ma do jo yorwa tijin shiba shaja to zamolin de shende nyagali de su tamba je shiga jeto tijin shiba namba de juba ne se pe tenendo jene pisanendo tere yinza sanje koya ji ne ro ji le pe che yo ma re.
So if we have the proper faith, and then if we are able to purify the negative imprints, then it is possible for us to see Buddha in directly in person, and it is like the god Indra, when he is in his palace. Then wherever that he is walking, that is his image is always reflected on the ground, because the ground is made of the jewel called lapis lazuli, so it was fully capable of reflecting of God Indra wherever he is. So likewise, that when our imprints are completely purified, negative imprints, then that makes it possible for us to see the Buddha directly. And but then at the time of the historical Buddha, that the sentient beings are able to see him in person, it's because of their karmic imprints.
Ona chende peya mene chen chang de karche chende to ya me averwes chende to go ya de lo da be che re chen chang choju shin ga ra ya de sanje tam je sanje chang ju sim ba jiu yu ma chang wa ma ba sin je be jiu yu yin chen je chen chang de na ke kan go wa chang chen chang yu ne an rang ge jiu ding ge la ma de ting su je ne gun du du ju su sam me ba ti je an chende to is lo ta che de ba che ren zhuo sin da che bu yong bi.
So then one might think that it may be not necessary to recite the text of invitation, but it's done in order to remove the negative sort of hesitations or negative stains of one's mind. One does recite the text of invitation, and one should sort of invite a space full of the countless sort of forms of those the deities, and then all of those will be absorbed into the one that one has visualized, and then through that one can generate even more the faith and confidence that one already had.
And
then what happens is from the heart, from the syllable home and the thumb, then going out a lot of rays of light, which invite all the object of refuge, and the various and everything will be invited and then will be absorbed into that body.
Pei yongju men siate tende mare ngara zo lama so ni chile pei lu din jaga yongye ju jo yo mare sigri don zinyo don bare sanje tende mare chi pei lu ne ju ju bare ni pei ne chul mami chile ni chere seba yo mare pei ju yo re pei de ran su me ba don tembe si jing gi ton dare de che do pei lu kan re se na chunda jendo karmi de na wa ding de jende shi su su las da wa ri de sha yong de chunyo kan ga na la da zo ni sha yong re ne je dong da ji ne chu dong da lu sha yo na a de ma lan da ga sha yong de kan ga na la da wa ri sha yo re da wa de ne ma yong ma zo ni ko yi ne sha wa da zo ni da ga sha yong re ma do ji ne ro ji le le gu ya ka le ru sa ni yo ma re chunda jendo ga mi te na we de ne jere shi su pe te so re so zo ni de se le yo re yo da ge shi ma la wa li ju zo ni sha ro zo ni cha nu chu nyu me do nyu be ra ji ra ju on ge ju chu nyu de sa na se bu yo ma re chu ta ma na le se bu yo re.
So this one says that when we invite Buddha, then it is not like inviting a person, and when we invite a person from one place to another, then he can be only at one place and not the other place. And for the Buddha, even if you invite one Buddha, that doesn't mean that the place where he was before will be empty of Buddha. There will also be a Buddha. It is like the emanations coming from one base. It is like the moon shining from above will be reflected in many, even the thousands of parts, water parts below. The reflection of one moon then coming into all of those parts. So in a similar way that the Buddhas could be invited. But there's the question of whether the reflection is clear or not. So there's this difference. But he is anyway sort of being reflected in all the places.
Lucins, Sim the Zangwa Yawachion, Lucin Sai Zangwa Lama Luchus when you showers, Simile Teva, Nuba Meba Teva, Teva Sungun on the Munduch Teva, Ichi Teva, Tawe Teva Sungre, Tawe Teva the Soul Gore, Tawe Teva the best, Show Travel Yawachiona, and Sanjamun, Pesu Shams. Teva Shivaram Mana, Sanjamun Chayune, Jegumari, Doja Chinjegri.
So it is like if the water is not very pure, then the reflection is not very clear, like that of the moon. If the water is very clean and very pure, then the reflection is very, very clear. So likewise, if the person who invites the Buddha, if his state of mind is not very clear, like not having enough or stronger faith, then the reflection of Buddha which comes as being invited will not be very clear, and even if that Buddha would come, he will not be able to see it. But if the person happens to have a very strong faith, like having a very pure water, then it will be possible to invite the Buddha and even to see him.
Shinye mir thongwa gasa yin song. Ngarasu le ngaba de driba thusu de la tani giwe shinye sanje phada miyan je thuwa akawu yin bure. Lenge driba di chisu shinye mir thongwa karasa gasa yin. Chetan punguru ma thong suna chi. Song re. Sanje ngo chuen yung ne nyawa tang ida nama peiru song shenji jibu le thong ne sheta ge chuen ne konzula. So
for us it seems that we have the quite powerful accumulation of wholesome imprint and energies, because that we are able to see and to meet and to contact the masters who represent Buddha, and but if we speak of the accumulation of unwholesome imprint, then that makes it's going to be very hard to see our own guru in the form of a human being, and it cannot be excluded that one might not see one's guru in the form of a dog or a donkey like that.
Rangdan rangle joyo lama khashe mishenge pa lab du gome togu pa judo che du buge lama gashe tu toma shisa shiga miza la shi a nganzu lama de tu dongse yuda skache tu dongbu yu shisa shore ma de jonjo che bare kongru yu che kongru yu de du bare chadang musu yu ge she de bare da na ya nganzu lama tu to inda ge shin ma sure tu sure mishenge chi le zi je ne so it
this one says that we have the inclination sometimes to describe our gurus in a very sort of in a very strange way, saying that that we have a guru that was not very capable of earning his own living, or that he is very temperamental, or he is like a Mahasiddha. So here that the Mahasiddha is then sort of being said in a very sarcastic way, saying that is a little bit sort of stupid. And so that shows the lack of faith and confidence in one's guru, when we have this kind of attitude. No, Kavaleson.
Solan chiji dinge todi. Pena gigante no true meba. Gigan grandi chile tizi jago ne jausha ya. Gigan chonjente tizi rija da zu ni ja susu du kong la pa du ba ya bu ja ne solan chung ring solan chung chiji dinge zu to son su yong gigan je da sanje shaji to ba na chogu chu gun je gre.
So what happened is that so it only says that when we sort of then pass on, proceed on the path, and then going through the developing the going through the procedure of the part of accumulation of the bodhisattvas, then this could be done. This is divided into three stages. The first one is the small stage of the part of accumulation, and then the second stage of the part of accumulation, and the greater the stage of the part of accumulation. But when we finish the third stage of part of accumulation, then it is possible for us to see the Guru that we usually sort of then feel to be quite sort of faulty kind of type of teacher or Guru, and even could see him being fully endowed with all the great qualities of a Buddha. So then if we still proceed on the path, and then passing through the part of preparation, and then finally we come to the third stage. Third stage is part of seeing and becoming a superior. At that time that we could see one's Guru in the form of the body, in the form of the enjoyment body of a Buddha. So if we are very we could become very precise in visualizing the Buddhas and so forth at the time of inviting, then we can receive a lot of blessings, like the example of the reflection of the moon in the water. So then finally that we should think that the sense that we have all of the object of refuge having absorbed into the body of the Guru, so this has become the embodiment of all the object of refuge. So then after that we should sort of generate a very strong faith and confidence, then should perform the 7 limbs to accumulate merit. So the 7 limbs are the limbs of prostration and offering, confession, rejoicing, and then requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma, and then to requesting to live a long life, and then the dedication. But here the request for long life then will be sort of then pushed in front.
Nyangani Minda so about the whole Jaguar, the Chuga Nanga chambers, the Chashi in Song Yor. Sosa de Jung Java, the Shin Lama man, the Tavio. Then is a Lama good system but the Kachori, and the Jurona Shua the Nelishori. Lama Joe Sun Chatse Chubri Chuba Vijua and La de Churi, or the Nesson, Chizu no Jancho Badu Jus, Rangichua Lama Gunjavatella, so done. The Randa, Rangatan Ravi Chiro, Masija Sudan, Suina, Suzu Chutan, Lama de Nyangeli Meadow, Rangichu, Jentu Jurochi, Samaruchan, Mavachigan, Yonzolere. Chizu no Jancho Badu Jus.
So here the reason that why the request for the long life of the Guru comes first at the beginning of the seventh limb is because that if the Guru lives for a long life, then there's always the possibility to accumulate merit and then go through the purification. So that is the great point for having done that at the beginning as the first of the seven limbs.
Luke Goni be Yalon Chatsego Mari, Temujan Degree, Ted Lugichari. Nagoni Tobaton, Yunejuva, Nagichari, Ijigoni Tevacheva, Ijichari, Luma Yisunjuba Chirijan, Luma Yisungu Chatselos, Chatsayalache.
And then the second one is the limb of prostration, and one doesn't need to rise up, but one can do it with folded hands. Then offering prostration, and at the same time the reciting the great qualities of the Guru, that is the the offering of the prostration through one's speech. At the same time that with very firm faith and confidence, devotion, that is the mental prostration. And then the third one is the offering of the making offerings in reality and as well as in imagination. So as for the offerings, that we are not very precise with these, and even that when we take our meals, that immediately sort of then start eating from the plate and without making offerings to the three jewels, and so in this respect that we are not very precise. It's possible that one may have kept some flowers as an offering. So it would be good if one can do some offering of the water. If one does have some bowls, water bowls, one can make some water offerings, since water doesn't cost anything.
Namu Bhagavati Baza Saratama Dani Tata Mataya Siakha, this house soon to Inja Puina, Inja Ding Kale Mene, Javasada Jiva Jangal, Chebe Charchimbobe, Zabuli Consul Zero Tinea Truyunguri. Tezungu Tolichive. Taya Saluton be Sebo Yabushane, be Gonton Yabu Gon be Chabachiri Nama Nasoba be Karina Chebata, Nuta, Rarasu Yabuji Saluton Toyona, Ribe Tolichive Cheber. Tere Salu Shamatone, Ta no Chebanaka Koma Yo, some Mavaja to the Meve Tolicho Cheberi. Moshan Sori, Mudo G. Drumbes. Mosu Shambe Cheba, Zumji to the Cheba, Ribeto the Cheba, Mebeto Chebas, all those future. Moshan Yuju Cheba Mali Mus, Chebe Nagia.
So then that was the whatever that one can sort of arrange in an actual form, that is the offerings and the reality. But then we have the opportunity to bring the lot of offerings in imagination, and something that could be created through the mantras, through aspiration, and through special mental capacity. And if you recite this mantra of the offering, and even if you that offer just one single bowl of water, then the effect of that could fill the complete space or the universe, the great universe of Jambudvipa. And so that is one way of making offering, using the mantra, the power of the mantra to make offering. And then likewise one can also use the special aspiration and the special mental capacity to make offerings, to make it multiply through those concentration.
다 도면 내사 대동 탐지 샤스 도마메 코 도마메바 단달을 샤 봐도 사자베 디바 미기와다 동와다 노마소는 게베 동와 디바 강 요바 바차던 제가 타제를 샤바체바 샤베해라시 도면 내사 대동 탐지 샤.
And then the third one is all the negative imprints of whatever that one has accumulated with respect to the three types of the individual, the vows or the pledges. And so all of these are done from the depth of one's heart being confessed.
룰라 추주 콜고다 인지르베
젬바가 가는 제기라.
젬바 교나라 지랑 지스이랑 야라 랑기 교래 지스이랑 공초래 교대 공도 패기요래 제바스기 요카래 지구요도 산제니 베스 누든 제바스니실 야보리 삼바가와 공부이나 수나 침부 사고요래 저는 제바 교던 거나 지랑 지스이랑이 야라.
And then the next one is the act of rejoicing. Also one can rejoice in the good activities of oneself, and through that the effect of that will increase. And as well as the rejoicing in the activities of others, such as like the activity of the Buddhas, and in this way one can accumulate a lot of merit. And instead of rejoicing in the virtuous acts of others, if one instead then have jealousy, that is a very powerful means to accumulate unwholesome imprint.
아우 대령 알려 코타가 중사 쿠치 제송 메데레 마소 코메 공도 쇼송 산산로 드네게 차도 승에도 상로 코나 겨월 차도 제바 디와 치슈치레.
And thinking sort of with very great jealousy that he sort of having done much better than I have done, in this way that one can accumulate a great amount of unwholesome imprint.
제바치기야 소 침부치라 동고르지 동치 제요나 네가 그 때리면 동고동기와야 무사 손손 가오공토나 그 배샤 누구저 동고동고 기와사바레 랑게 상루지동 기와너를 토그레.
And on the other hand, if somebody would make an offering to a sangha or to an assembly, and if you then would rejoice in his act of making offering, then you also then will obtain similar sort of amount of imprint, like the person who actually have done the offering.
매번 중국 러브신 초도 게라 지수이랑 초도 송 칼레제 모고지 초자침 소야디 지수이랑 공부를 했어요.
So in this respect, the great Lama Tsongkhapa had said that with very little effort, that one can accumulate a great amount of merit, which is the practice of rejoicing.
제바랑게 호제 교와라 롱슨 트리가 고치체나 호제 교와 공도 펠로시 담베 숨을 더더 주시다. 랑게 교이네 텔레 롱슨이제. 마지 제샤요 마시고 임사 베마제 마제버제. 내디지 지지주 레론 야부지 동지주 간내디 야부 레소 다딘디스 삼베 가공토나 게메 교와디 야체르 누구요리. So
one shouldn't sort of take pride in having done something nice, like that having done retreat or having done special prayers. Instead, that one should, without pride, one should rejoice in the activities that one has already carried out in the past, and through these, the effect of those will multiply by themselves. And one example is that the king, there was a king called Sejal, that he just by rejoicing in the good activities of others, that he attained finally the state of an arhat.
Jebusing Leka Mangure, taking where you and the Nigel no shore. And Jebu Digri, Chenian, or Silence, or Salo Yabuton. Mr. Georging it to the Saluton, the Abores, and Titrat, said Jesus Ranlover. And come to Saluton with the Dajum Tosmore.
Then this great king that he once told to the king that he was not able to abandon his kingdom, and he was not able to abandon his queens, that he was not able to abandon everything what relates to his kingdom, but at the same time that he would like to find a method. So Buddha taught him this practice of rejoicing. He said he should do this 3 times in the day and 3 times in the evenings. So he did it very precisely, and on the basis of that he finally attained, he became an arhat.
Saji Jaji Chungo Kuwata, go to Sus, Sabata Jaji Chungo Koro Nauseta, Chivalama Condilation, Chungo Kua Kulori. Chungo Koro Nasa Shiata, Hajang Pemba Chimbo Suna Chimbo, Lode Nyabo, Chivachiman Arasu, Loda Ganes Mejiak, Soji. Sabjin Jaji Chungo Koro, Sabata Jachiva, Saval Hayukolo, Maria Sabatumba, Jachiva Hayukolo, Sabjig Chunguta. Saba Tumbani, the Jachiva Paris Chimby Joba Shambashed, Sabjeg Chungur. Other Sajani with the Kavajaja, Manguyor, that's Saba the Jachi Chu Snurona, Bessinja Tamja the Chungo Gorochis Jan Shugur.
Then the next one is that you are making another request to the Guru to turn the well of Dharma, and with respect to the profound and extensive aspect of the Dharma. And here the profound refers to emptiness, and extensive refers to the meditation of the will of the deity, and to turn the well of Dharma in order to benefit all sentient beings. And this will have a direct sort of impact against the generation of the wrong views.
Da jinye sabe gyoma re.
Na dajen gewa chanju chim.
Dajen gewa chanju chim hurbe.
Right.
Dajin gewa chanju chim tari rang be cha se cheba la suba gewa ji sa sa khasan khani ni ka genche sabe gewa sani joma ba sa ju gewa kanga ya ru che. Yenda su ge sabe gewa kanga su ru che ni be tela de ne be sija thaje ge tonda la chanju chimbo. O sanje ji go bon tobe che do ngone. Te sanje go bon tobe jo yo sho se kwa ma la gewa.
And then next one is the whatever that merits and virtues have accumulated by oneself or by anybody else, will be dedicated for attaining the great bodhi, the state of full enlightenment of Buddha. So if one does these 8 limbs precisely, then it covers both the fields of accumulation and purification. And sometimes it is said these 8 limbs not only include the 2 aspects of the accumulation and the purification, but also an aspect of increase.
Oh yeah, that he will toga things in the Tagurdo. Igijuba Haji Goba Jurus. Tatoga la Tami Jongo, Lame Toga la Jizundruma Toga la Davejingo to the Tami Gitala, Omotari Totari Soasia, the Yongur Chade. Jamuchi Yalondeke, Yalondeke, this set up, and the territory to Sosi, Madron, my Jazachidon. Mamudron Jomari, Jazachidon. Tatu doesn't be Jan Chavabe, the Meduati. The Zimbabwean Chen Yabu City. So, Zimbabwean Tokatan Ilma, Dizibo, Rangichu, Mashu, Didi Junk, Chelo Ju, Tana Lamen Sengadong, Lamen Sengade, Tiku, the Jana Niji, the Chitong.
So, he only says that then this point, the syllable, the green syllable, tongue, and the heart of the little the deity of Tara, then which is stands on this little moon disk, and then which is surrounded by the counterclockwise by the 10-syllable mantra of Tara, and all the letters sort of standing on that the surface of the moon disk, and then with full concentration one should recite this mantra about 100 times. And also one can do the visualization of the coming from those the rays of light and nectar, and especially from the syllable tongue, and so that was a very powerful means of accumulating merit and purification. And also one can recite, after the recitation of this 10-syllable mantra, one can also recite the mantra which contains the name of the Guru, either about 100 times or 21 times.
Cittamani Tara, Shukuman Shitan Rugumendu Lokan to Cheja and Sheva Tia Magoche, Lava Tia Magoche, Sheva Tia Magoche, Chakati Sheshan, Kuroche and Digriva, and Jumachura Chichuri.
So this one thinks that he will stop there today. He thinks that it's not going to be possible to complete this commentary, and so wherever it will be stopped, then the rest then will have to be taught by somebody else.
Yeah. Tande onji chenlo de she na chasamare onji chenlo lama yishu tumu de she ta tumu mai ba she mare tin chane de ni jene da jere ta dinero chi de jajim de dare pale ni chona lama ne jo de tari tori yana de ba che tari to jaza chi dong lama chenga yone chenga ni so ji dong ta de she ya de nyane ji.
So after this, then there is the part in which the Guru will be absorbed into one's heart. And then, so from today on, that you have to recite at home this text of Guru Yoga, and you will have to recite 100 times the mantra of the Tara, and followed by the 21 recitation of the mantra which contains the name of the Guru.
Dagi chini sabe gyo ndi den tondo Chabar jizo lo san daba ye tembe nyambu rindu se je sho Chashime da chama Sanye shimi ne Druba nanda shala